Cats, yes.
We're live, and I'll share my screen.
Okay.
Great. So today we are supposed to read a book review. And I was thinking not only that, but we could also read a book extract. And we can start to understand these two text types, their structures and features. In a way, very similar. So we have our textbook, and we should be on page 68. And you can also see on my screen, I've put the link to the textbook in the chat. And we'll take a look at some of the features of each text type, and we'll read it, and hopefully we can identify some words that are necessary to pronounce, essential words. Okay. All right. So here we go. Jermaine, are you there? And Jermaine, do you have a mic? Okay. Victor, do you have a mic?
Yes.
So I think 2 students at 9 a.m. is pretty good.
Good.
Okay, so let's take a look at our first text. And we're looking at a book review. And the title of the book is Frankenstein. And Jermaine, who is the author of the book Frankenstein? Victor, who is the author of the book Frankenstein? Okay, let's try that again. Oh, thanks, Jermaine. Yeah, that's right. So the author wrote the book. The author is a person, not a dog, not a cat. The author wrote the book. So when we look for the author of a book, we should usually look for a name. So we have here Mary Shelley. We see the word review here. We see the title of the book here. And then we see author of the book. Now, Victor, what do you think this is? What is this a picture of?
Stop it. Stop. Sit. There we are. No.
So, are you talking to a person or an animal?
An animal, Yo-Yo. She's rubbing herself against the computer. Go down there. Come on. Bye-bye. Oh, sorry.
Jermaine, so who do you think is in this picture here?
Good.
Yeah, okay. So we see names here. And for all we know, this could be Mary Shelley, or this could be Frankenstein, or it could be someone else. We have to read just a bit more to figure out who this dude is. But your prediction is correct. Now let's go quickly to page 72. 72. Now we're looking at a novel extract. Repeat after me, novel. And novel is a type of book. A novel is a storybook. So that's the word novel. A novel is a type of book. A novel is a storybook. So if it is a storybook, there should be a name of the story and an author, that is a writer of the story. Victor, what is the name of the novel? I'm going to set up a poll. I'll do that.
Just excuse me for a minute, Doctor. I've got to go and deal with the cat for a moment, okay? Yo-Yo. Naughty cat, come here. Come here. Come on. Oh, God.
Nope.
together. Come here. Good girl. Play in the garden. Balcony time. Come on.
Jermaine, what is the name of a novel? Okay, you're close, Jermaine. It's a part of the answer. That is, you gave me too many words, too much information. 2, 4, 6, 7. Only 7 words in your answer are the name of the novel. What is the name of the story? There's one word that tells you that the name of the story is over. Okay, great. Super. So the name of the novel is Journey to the Center of the Earth. And usually when we see this preposition, we're linking the name, title of novel. Okay. With what? Who or what is Jules Verne? Jermaine. Who or what is Jules Verne? Is That's right. Great. So what we've learned is usually when we read a novel extract or a book review, at the top of the book review or novel extract, we see the title of the book or title of the novel. Not only that, but we also see the author of the novel, that is the writer. We can separate, actually let's put it, we can connect the title of a novel and the author of a novel using the word by. So we can link a creation with its creator with by. Any questions? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to read this book review aloud Each of us will read one sentence each. So Dr. Wu will go first, then Kirsten, then Mr. Bond, then Victor, then Jermaine, then I will go again. And while we're doing that, while we're reading, let's find evidence that this is Frankenstein or that it isn't Frankenstein. I'll say it again. We're going to read the text aloud. Each person reads one sentence each. We will read the book review aloud. Each person reads one sentence. And what evidence in the text, let's say, how do we not know that the person, the thing in the picture is Frankenstein? All right, so that's our little reading comprehension task today. I'll start. Victor Frankenstein is a scientist in the 18th century. Kirsten, he wants
to find the secret of life.
Thank you. Mr. Bond,
He makes a scary monster from body parts he steals from graves.
Thank you. Victor, he manages. Victor, are you there?
I think he's there, but I can see the microphone has a red mark and is crossed.
Yep.
So I think he needs to press Alt-A or something.
We can also unmute participants. So I've asked him to unmute. And I'm looking through the chat. Okay. I'm trying to unmute unsuccessfully. Okay. Let's continue then. Jermaine, he manages.
He manages to bring it to life.
Yes, he manages to bring it to life. However, when he sees the horrible monster, the terrified scientist does not know what to do and runs away. Kirsten.
The monster escapes and tries to kill the scientist and his family.
Okay. So in Frankenstein, Mr. Bond.
In Frankenstein, you hear the story from both the monsters and scientists' points of view.
So Jermaine, to me,
the monster acts the way it did because it felt lonely.
Great. To me, the monster acted the way it did because it felt lonely. If I were the monster, I would feel the same way. Kirsten, I recommend.
I recommend this novel because It is scary and well written.
Good. Mr. Bond, I used to.
Sorry, I was looking at Mr. Jim's message, okay? He's having problems with connecting because he's in the school. Where are we? Yeah. Okay.
Line 11, I used to.
Okay. I used to avoid reading classic novels like Frankenstein because of the old-fashioned language.
And Jermaine, however,
I got used to this very quickly because the story was so interesting.
I could not wait to turn the next page. Okay.
Dr. Wu, can I ask you a quick question? It's not about the lesson because Mr. Jim has asked me a question. Is there anywhere in the school that has a better internet connection than the staff room? Do you know?
No, I actually don't know.
Right.
You might try the English corner.
I suggest that.
There might be a problem with the infrastructure in the school. It's worth asking the people in the computer room.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're there. Yeah.
So there might
Okay,
be
thanks.
a problem with the infrastructure right now.
I'll reply to him.
Thank you. Okay, so we just read a book review, and the first part of the review is a summary of the story. So the first paragraph is summary of story. So based on that, how many characters are in this story? Victor and Jermaine, how many characters are in this story? Okay, thank you. Jermaine, can you list the characters? Okay, there's a Victor Frankenstein. Yeah, keep going. So Victor Frankenstein. It's a monster. Okay, get a monster. Okay. Okay. So I see scientist. All right. Ready? My question to you, Jermaine, is what is Victor Frankenstein's job? Okay, all right. So let's make this clear. I'll draw some arrows. Frankenstein is here. Frankenstein is here. Frankenstein is here. Frankenstein is here. Frankenstein's also here. Frankenstein is here. Frankenstein is here. The terrified scientist refers to Frankenstein because Victor Frankenstein is a scientist. You see it again, the scientist. So you actually see that Victor Frankenstein is the scientist. So Victor Frankenstein is the scientist. Two questions. Jermaine, is Frankenstein a man or a woman? Yes, he's a man. And we know this because if you look at the arrows, I point to he. And he is a pronoun for a man. Okay. So tell me, how many characters are in the story? Based on what we just did, how many characters are in the story? Okay. So it might be primarily two characters.
Two main characters, is it?
Yeah, let's just say main characters based on what we know. Okay. Now, my question, Jermaine, is the monster a man or a woman or neither a man nor a woman? Is the monster a man, a woman, neither a man nor a woman? The key is one word in the first paragraph.
How many letters in the word?
2 letters.
Mm. What type of word is it?
2-letter pronoun.
Good.
Yes. So we see the monster, okay, monster, and we see it's not he or she, it's it. So we see reference to the monster. Now, Jermaine, you said that this person or thing in the picture was Frankenstein. Do you still think the person or thing in this picture is Frankenstein? Yes. Okay. Why? What in the text suggests that this person is Frankenstein? I mean, I can see there's a name here and there's a picture here, so naturally we would think that this is Frankenstein. But what words in the text suggest that this is Frankenstein?
Oh. Now what happened? Lost the screen.
Yeah, I'm trying to log into my Zoom to create a poll.
Okay.
I oftentimes forget my password.
I'm trying to comfort Mr. Jim.
My gosh.
I mean, he planned to do a lesson at the school today using Zoom. Yeah.
You can join our lesson.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Hey, you can send him the link. He can just more the merrier. Okay. Ready? Jermaine, what is an adjective to describe the monster? Look at paragraph 1. What is a word to describe the monster? Horrible. Good. What's another word? Scary, right? If you take a look at the words to describe the scientist, you see terrified. And terrified means really scared. Okay. So you see, now what are some of the actions that the monster does? The monster's horrible. The monster's scary. What does the monster do? The monster Victor, what does the monster do? Okay.
Good, good.
Now, Victor, what does the terrified scientist do? What does Frankenstein do, Victor? So we see the monster is scary, horrible, tries to kill the scientist, Frankenstein. What does Frankenstein do? Oh yes, Frankenstein runs away. Frankenstein runs. Okay, so the monster kills, Frankenstein, the scientist, runs. The monster is horrible and scary. Okay. One final question before we return to the picture. Why is there a picture of, what are these, nails? Or are these nails here? Why are these in the picture? Why are these in the book review? Why are these things in the book review? What in the world? And while we're at it, let me ask you another question. What is this?
Is it normal to have one of those? Do you have one of those?
No, I don't think I.
Most people don't have them, do they?
Do you have it?
Some people these days, when they have injuries or something, they maybe have some in their knees or something, that the screws, yeah?
And they're inside the body.
Yeah.
Inside the body so that people can see them. Kirsten, do you have one of these?
Unfortunately, no, but it looks fancy. Maybe in the future people will have them.
Okay. So Victor, question. Who do you think, or what do you think is in this picture?
Difficult question, this.
Yeah, I think you have two choices. Jermaine? Is this Frankenstein? Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So I'll ask you the same question I did before. Why do you think the person in the picture is Frankenstein? And then we'll move on.
I didn't think it was Frankenstein, is it?
Okay. Sure. Frankenstein is the main character. Now, do you think there is only one main character? You use the word the main character. Do you think Frankenstein is the only main character? Is the monster also a main character? Okay.
Can I ask a question? Who is Frankenstein? One of the students can answer. Who is Frankenstein?
Oh.
Yeah, the scientist. Right. Doesn't look like a picture of him, does it? If Frankenstein's the scientist, and Dr. Wu asked you what the picture is, somebody said Frankenstein. I'm confused. Seems to be more than one Frankenstein, Dr. Wu.
Could be. I also think our students may not have a schemata or a mental image of scientist and also 18th century.
Yeah.
I think conceptually this is really foreign.
Oh, yeah.
The names are foreign.
Yes.
The actions are foreign. So I don't think I'd press the issue any further.
No.
I can see how the picture's actually misleading.
Yeah. But before you go, what about the screws and the bolt in the neck? Before you move on from this point.
So these are here. Okay. So does a person usually have screws in the neck? What do you think, Victor? Yes or no?
Go on, Victor. So I have to take a call. I think it might be Mr. Jim.
Does he want to join?
Right?
Does Mr. Jim want to join?
No. I'm teaching online, okay? I don't speak Chinese. Sorry. Bye-bye. No, I wasn't. Okay. It was advertising, okay? Yeah, good. No, you see, Mr. Jim can't join anyway because he has no internet connection.
Oh.
He's at school, yeah? All that they've suggested to him so far is he turns some machines on and off for the Wi-Fi. And they said they can check the Wi-Fi connection for him tomorrow, which is not much use today, is it?
Yeah. Well, he can use his phone and his data to join in our conversation.
Yeah. I'll suggest him. I think at the moment he's about, well, if he had hair, he'd be pulling it. He'd be pulling it out now.
Yeah. It might be worth his joining just to test Zoom and to see how it works.
Okay.
Jermaine, so does a person have screws in the neck? No. Okay. Now, is Victor Frankenstein a person, Jermaine? Okay. Is the monster a person, Jermaine? No. Okay. Do you think a monster would have screws in the neck? Maybe. Okay. So it's more likely a monster would have screws in the neck than a person would have screws in the neck. So just
So,
based on that, who or what do you think is probably in the picture? Okay. So we use this reasoning to conclude that the thing, it, in the picture is the monster. Okay. So, I mean, there are two characters. There's a person and a monster, and it's not clear, not very clear, if the thing or the person, whatever it is in the picture, we don't really know what it is. But based on these pictures, we can try to reason that it's the monster. Okay, we'll do one final thing. Let's take a look at the second and third paragraphs. Okay. So Jermaine, the first paragraph was the summary. Okay, this was the summary. Now take a look at second and third paragraphs. What are words in the second and third paragraph that you don't see in the first paragraph? What are frequently used words in the in the second and third paragraphs? Third paragraphs that are not found in the first paragraph. Somehow the words change. Here's a clue. Look at the beginning of each sentence. Look at how the sentences start. There's a clue. So Victor and Jermaine, what are some words that are used as the subjects of sentences that aren't used in the first paragraph?
remember, Dr. Wu talked about person, okay? Think about that. Subject.
Audience awareness and voice are difficult concepts to grasp.
Yeah.
In my form all the time, just conceptually being aware of the audience and being aware of who is speaking is very hard for people to grasp. Any ideas, Jermaine and Victor? No? Okay. Let's identify. Here. Ready? Let's take a look at this word. It's the subject of this sentence, the first sentence of the second paragraph. Do you see you in the first paragraph? Okay. So we don't see you in the first paragraph. Question. Do you see me or I in the first paragraph? No. Okay. So you see I.
You sound like a West Indian.
So you see that you and I are in the second and third paragraphs. So the second and third paragraphs are primarily about you and I. Let me write that down. The second and third paragraphs are about you and I, or you and me. The first paragraph is about the characters. So that's something important for us to know. The first paragraph is a summary, and the summary is about the main characters. The second paragraph and the third paragraph are about you and me. Now, final question. What about you and me, Jermaine and Victor? Why is the writer of this book review, I, writing so much about I? Are they talking about their morning and what they ate for breakfast? Are they talking about their pet cat? What are some actions of I? What is I, or the writer of the book review, writing about? Look at the verbs. Okay, the author's feelings. Good, right? I would feel. What else besides the author's feelings? Here's some more feelings. I could not wait. Anything else besides the author's feelings? Okay, the author's thinking. Okay, thoughts and feelings. Let's just use I recommend. And one more thing is, yes, we see thoughts because, okay, so we have reasons because, because of if statements. Okay. So we see the writer expresses feelings. Writer of the book review expresses feelings, thoughts, and reasons using because and if statements. So I think that's about it. What we did today was we tried to deepen our understanding of a book review by identifying features and structure of a book review. We also read the book review aloud. Do you have any questions? Okay. Now I know one piece of homework that you have this week, you may have already completed it, was this book report. And it's a simple book report. You should find a web link, for example, one of these things, and put it in the box. You should find a title, an author, and we've done this before in our lessons, the publisher, and a date. Then list or write the number of chapters, and there may be more than one character in the book, but just name me one character. Would you recommend the book for me to read? How many hours did it take for you to read the book? And how well did you understand the book? Jermaine and Victor, did you complete your book report? Okay. When can you finish your book report? Okay, great. Super. Victor, what about you?
You might be reading War and Peace. That could be a problem. You'd have to put many hours then.
I'm reading World War Z right
Right, I've heard of this. Yeah.
now. And it's a fascinating book. It's not like the movie at all. The movie is rubbish. It's the movie and the book are totally different.
Quite interesting you say that. So you saw the movie first and then you read the book.
No, I actually
No?
never seen the movie. I don't watch zombie movies.
Right, okay. Okay. Because because I find that if I read a book first and then I see a movie, I don't enjoy the movie very much normally. Yeah.
And so I learned about World War Z, the book, I think earlier this week or last week, because it's a story about a pandemic. It's a story about epidemiology and the policy-making environment in response to a pandemic. The pandemic just happens to be about zombies.
Yeah.
But it's actually more a book about epidemiology and policymaking. And so that's why I picked up the book. I was like, oh, this is actually very interesting
Right.
to have a fiction about what's actually happening right now.
Yeah, sure.
And then I was looking at the movie trailer yesterday and some scenes, and the movie is rubbish.
But you know, the thing is, when you read a book, you build up a picture yourself of the characters and you know how they actually look and everything. Okay, whereas the movie tells you